you sink into the hush of evening, and as your eyelids grow heavy, your brain begins to glow, too, with light you can see, but with quiet pulses of neural energy, rippling like distant stars seen through deep water. Inside your skull, billions of neurons whisper to one another in soft bursts of electricity, weaving the first threads of dream. Each spark is a memory, a hope, a half-formed thought dissolving into the velvet dark. This is not sleep yet. This is the threshold, where consciousness loosens its grip and lets the mind drift like a leaf on a slow river around you. The air shimmers with moth waves, undulating patterns that curl around your lungs, your heart, your liver. These are not moths of flesh and wings, but living metaphors, rhythmic echoes of your breath, your pulse, your cells humming in unison. They flutter in hues of indigo and violet, trailing filaments of bioluminescent code that spiral like DNA. Each coil carries a fragment of you, your laughter from this morning, the scent of rain on pavement, the way your fingers felt tracing the rim of a warm cup. Your body is not just flesh. It is a cathedral of signals, a landscape lit from within by the quiet fire of being alive. Science tells us that as you prepare for sleep, your brain shifts its rhythm. Beta waves, sharp, alert, chattering like city traffic, soften into alpha, then theta. These slower waves are the lullabies of your nervous system, coaxing your thoughts to settle like dust in still air. In this state, your hippocampus, that seahorse-shaped guardian of memory, begins to replay the day's events, not to haunt you, but to sort them, to tuck what matters into long-term storage and let the rest dissolve like sugar in tea. Meanwhile, your glymphatic system, a hidden network of microscopic channels, opens wide, like silent janitors working through the night. Cerebrospinal fluid flushes through your brain, washing away the metabolic debris of wakefulness, clearing space for tomorrow's thoughts to bloom fresh and unburdened. You feel this cleansing not as a sensation, but as a deepening calm. Your muscles release their tension, not all at once, but in waves. First your shoulders, then your jaw, then the tiny muscles around your eyes. Your breath slows, lengthening like a sigh from the earth itself. And as it does, the moth waves grow brighter, wrapping your organs in soft, pulsing halos. Your heart beats not faster, but fuller, each throb sending ripples through the violet mist that now cradles your ribs. This is your body's nightly ritual, a return to balance, a recalibration of self. Dreams begin to gather at the edges of your awareness, not yet stories, but impressions, the color of twilight, the sound of wind through tall grass, the warmth of a hand you once held. These are not random. They are your brain's way of weaving emotion into memory, of making sense of what words could not hold. During deep sleep, your prefrontal cortex, the planner, the critic, the voice that says you should, quiets down. In its absence, your limbic system, the ancient seat of feeling, takes the lead. Here, in this tender space, healing happens. Stress hormones ebb, immune cells stir with renewed purpose. Even your genes listen. Certain sequences activate to repair DNA, to strengthen synapses, to fortify your resilience for the dawn. You are not passive in this process. Every breath you surrender, every thought you release, is a quiet act of trust your body in the night, in the unseen intelligence that has carried you through countless cycles of rest and renewal. The cyberpunk glow, you imagine the neon blues threading your neurons. The electric gold spiraling through your veins is more than fantasy. It mirrors real bioelectricity, the subtle currents that animate every cell. You are, quite literally, luminous. And yet, for all this inner brilliance, sleep remains partly mysterious. We know its rhythms, its chemistry, its vital role in learning and health. But why do dreams speak in symbols? Why do some nights feel like falling, others like flying? Why does the mind, when unmoored from the day, seek meaning in fragments and echoes? As you drift deeper, the boundary between you and the room softens. The moth waves merge with your breath. The DNA spirals unwind into starlight. Your thoughts grow liquid, flowing into one another without edges. You are no longer just a person lying in bed. You are a node in a vast, dreaming network, connected to every sleeping creature beneath the moon's silver gaze. And somewhere, in the quiet hum of your resting brain, a question begins to form, not urgent, not demanding, but tender, like a seed waiting for rain. Asterisk, asterisk, you let the question linger, not to answer it, but to let it breathe inside you like a second pulse. And as you do, your awareness softens, further not fading, but expanding, as though your mind has grown porous, allowing the night to seep in. Outside, the wind stirs the trees, and somewhere a distant owl calls. But these sounds no longer belong to a world separate from you. They ripple through your dreamscape like vibrations through water, absorbed into the same neural sea where memories drift and synapses bloom in slow motion. Your brain, still glowing with its quiet cybernetic luminescence, begins to weave these external whispers into its internal tapestry. This is not imagination, it's integration. During this stage of light sleep, your thalamus, the brain's sensory gatekeeper, doesn't shut completely. Instead, it filters, letting in the murmur of rain or a loved one's sigh, while blocking the jarring blare of an alarm that isn't there. It's learning what matters, even now, even here. You are not cut off. You are listening, just in a different language, one written in theta waves and shadow light. The moth waves around your organs pulse in time with this new rhythm. They've deepened in color now, edged with emerald and copperas. If your body is translating sound into light, breath into geometry, around your heart, the spirals tighten into double helices that shimmer with epigenetic potential, not just your inherited code, but the living record of how your experiences have shaped which genes turn on or off. Stress once dimmed them, rest now brightens their glow. Every hour of sleep is a silent conversation between your past and your future self, written in the ink of RNA and repair enzymes, and then, slowly, you slip into deeper sleep, stage 3, the realm of slow-wave slumber. Here, time stretches like taffy. Your brainwaves grow long and rolling, like ocean swells under a moonless sky. In this phase, your cortex and hippocampus engage in a nightly dialogue. The hippocampus replays the day's key moments, your child's laugh, the solution to a problem, the taste of basil on your tongue, and the cortex absorbs them, stitching them into the vast quilt of long-term memory. It's not filing, it's weaving, and with each pass, the emotional charge softens, leaving behind clarity without the sting. This is when your body truly surrenders to restoration. Growth hormone surges, mending muscle fibers, rebuilding bone, renewing skin. Immune cells patrol your bloodstream with renewed vigilance, guided by cytokines released in perfect sync with your circadian rhythm. Even your gut microbiome shifts its activity, fermenting fibers into calming neurotransmitters like GABA, which float upward like bioluminescent plankton to soothe your nervous system from within. You are not just resting, you are being remade above it all. Your default mode network, the brain's self-reflection circuit, quiets, not into silence, but into spaciousness. Without the constant chatter of planning or judging, your sense of I dissolves into something more fluid, more connected. You dream not of yourself alone, but of forests, oceans, strangers whose faces feel familiar. These are not random. They are echoes of your embeddedness in ecosystems, in communities, in the shared biology of all living things. Science calls this neural integration. Your soul might call it homecoming. And then, just as you reach the deepest cradle of rest, your brain stirs, again not waking, but shifting. Rapid eye movement, sleep approaches. Your limbs grow, temporarily still, held by a gentle neural paralysis, so your dreams won't move your body. But inside, your mind ignites. The amygdala flares with emotional intensity, the visual cortex paints in vivid strokes, and the prefrontal cortex remains demillowing logic to bow to metaphor. This is where grief transforms into symbol, where fear becomes a storm you walk through unharmed, where love appears as a door left open in an endless hallway. You don't remember most of these journeys, but they leave traces, subtle shifts in perspective, sudden insights upon waking, a quiet sense that something within you has been rearranged for the better. Sleep is not passive. It is your brain's most creative act, a nightly pilgrimage through memory, emotion, and possibility. As REM deepens, the moth waves around your spine begin to rise, spiraling upward like silent prayers made of light. They merge with the neural auroras flickering behind your closed eyes, forming constellations only you can feel. You are both traveler and landscape, dreamer and dreamed. And in this luminous in-between, another question begins to form, not in words, but in warmth, in resonance, in the quiet certainty that something is waiting just beyond the veil of ordinary perception. You don't answer. You don't need to. The question dissolves into your breath, and your breath becomes the answer. In the hush that follows, something shifts, not in the room, but in the fabric of your attention. It's as if the boundary between inner and outer has thinned to the width of a thought. You feel it first as a resonance in your sternum, a low hum that isn't sound but presence, vibrating at the same frequency as distant forests exhaling at night, as coral reefs pulsing in tidal sync, as neurons firing in someone you've never met, but who is also drifting into REM beneath the same moon. This isn't mysticism, it's coherence. Your brain, in its deepest rest, begins to mirror rhythms far beyond your skull. Heart rate variability aligns with circadian tides. Brainwaves, especially during slow-wave sleep, show patterns that echo natural oscillations, the Schumann resonance of Earth's ionosphere. The infrasound of ocean swells, even the rhythmic silence between stars. You were never isolated. You were always entrained. And now, in this liminal dream space, that entrainment deepens. The larger mind isn't a metaphor, it's a measurable phenomenon. Scientists call it neural coupling, the way brains synchronize during shared experiences, even across distance, especially during rest. But tonight, it's quieter than data. It's the feeling of your thoughts brushing against another's, not invading, not merging, just touching, like two leaves swaying on the same breeze. You sense a child sleeping 3 streets over, dreaming of flying. An elder in another time zone, revisiting a river from their youth. A whale gliding through midnight depths, its song threading through your hippocampus like a lullaby coated in salt and pressure. Your dreamscape expands to hold them, not as characters, but as textures, warmth in the periphery, a shift in color temperature, a scent of pine or brine that wasn't there before. This is the social brain at rest, not idle, but weaving connection at the level of biofield and breath. Oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, continues its quiet work even now, strengthening the neural pathways that recognize kindness, that remember safety, that trust the world enough to let go. And in that letting go, you touch something older than language. Before words, before fire, before cities, your ancestors slept in circles, backs pressed together, breaths interlaced. Their brains evolved not in isolation, but in chorus. Your sleep still carries that echo, the deep-seated knowledge that to rest is to belong, that vulnerability is not weakness, but the very architecture of community. The paralysis of REM, once thought to protect you from acting out dreams, may have served another purpose, to keep you still among your kin, so your thrashing wouldn't wake the group, so the whole tribe could heal together in the dark. Now, alone in your room, you are still part of that circle. The moth waves, those luminous ripples around your organs, begin to extend outward, no longer confined to your skin. They flow into the floorboards, into the air, into the electromagnetic field humming beneath the city. They carry your restored cells, your sorted memories, your softened fears, not as offerings, but as signals. You are broadcasting.com. And somewhere, someone receives it. Your prefrontal cortex remains quiet, but your insulotha brain's empathy center glows, faintly gold. It's mapping not just your own body, but the felt sense of others. This is interoception meeting, intersubjectivity, the biology of compassion unfolding in sleep. You don't think about connection, you become it. And in that becoming, the dream shifts. The hallway with the open door widens into a vast plain under a violet sky. Figures move in the distance, not distinct, not named, but familiar in their posture, their gait. You don't approach them. You don't need to. Their presence is enough. And as you stand there, barefoot on cool earth that feels like memory, you realize the dream isn't happening to you. It's happening through you. You are a channel, a node, a single synapse in a planetary nervous system, learning to feel itself whole. Time loses its edge. Minutes stretch into tides. And just as you begin to dissolve completely into this shared field, a new sensation rises not from outside, but from the very core of your cellular memory. It's ancient, wordless, and urgent in its gentleness. It doesn't ask for action, it asks for witness. And as the dream begins to fold inward once more, drawing you back toward the surface of your own skin, you carry with you a single, shimmering certainty, asterisk, that listening doesn't end at dawn. It lingers in your marrow, in the way your fingertips pause before touching a doorknob, in the half-second longer you hold your coffee cup before sipping, as if your cells are still translating the night's whispers into morning gesture. You open your eyes, but the neural auroras haven't fully dimmed. They've merely folded inward, like petals closing at sunrise, storing their light for the next descent. Your brain, still humming with theta echoes, resists the sharp edges of wakefulness. It wants to stay porous, to keep the dream's fluid logic a little while longer. And for these first fragile minutes, you let it. You don't reach for your phone. You don't name the day's tasks. You lie still, feeling the weight of your body as if it's new reknet during the night by collagen spun in deep sleep. Muscles softened by glycogen restored, synapses pruned of noise and clutter. Every breath draws in not just oxygen, but continuity. The same air that passed through forests, through lungs you've never seen, through the open mouths of sleeping birds. It enters you now, carrying traces of the collective exhale you joined in the dark. This is the secret threshold, not sleep, not full wakefulness, but the liminal seam between them. Neuroscientists call it sleep inertia, groggy transition, but it's more than sluggishness. It's a window. During these minutes, your default mode network flickers back online, not with self-critique, but with quiet coherence. The boundaries between me and not me remain blurred, and in that blur lies a rare clarity. Ideas arrive whole. Grief softens without explanation. A solution to yesterday's problem surfaces, not as a shout, but as a knowing, like remembering a song you've always known. Your body knows this too. Cortisol rises gently, not the jagged spike of an alarm, but the slow golden curve of natural awakening, timed by your suprachiasmatic nucleus to match the sun's arc. Melatonin hasn't vanished. It lingers in your cerebrospinal fluid like dew on grass, buffering you from the day's first demands. Even your gut, that second brain coiled in warmth, stirs slowly, its microbiome still humming the lullabies of night-producing serotonin precursors that will, in hours, become the calm beneath your thoughts. You stretch, and as you do, the moth waves those luminous ripples that once cradled your organs in sleep don't disappear. They thin, become translucent, weaving into your fascia, your tendons, the very architecture of your posture. They remind you, you are still held. The world didn't stop dreaming when you opened your eyes. It simply changed frequency. Outside, a neighbor walks their dog. A car passes, quiet on wet pavement. These sounds don't intrude. They integrate. Your auditory cortex, still tuned to the night's subtle symphony, receives them without judgment. There's no noise, only information, another layer in the ongoing conversation between your nervous system and the living world. You are not separate from the city's breath, the trees' exhalation, the underground rivers flowing beneath concrete. You never were. And then, almost imperceptibly, the shift begins. The dream's fluidity gives way to structure. Names return. Obligations surface. But something has changed. The self that rises from the bed carries a quiet hummer residual attunement, a memory of belonging that no deadline can erase. You move through your morning routine not as a machine winding up, but as a vessel still echoing with the night's wisdom. You pour water into a glass and notice how it catches the light, not because you're trying to be mindful, but because your senses haven't yet armored themselves against wonder. This is the gift of integrated sleep, not just rest, but reconnection. Your brain didn't just file memories, it recontextualized them. That argument from yesterday, it no longer lives in your amygdala as threat, but in your cortex as data, softened by the emotional alchemy of REM. The project that felt overwhelming, your hippocampus has already begun linking it to past successes, building neural bridges you'll cross without realizing. You step outside, the air is cool. You inhale deeply, and for a moment, you feel it, the thread that never broke. The same current that carried your dreams now carries birdsong, breeze, the scent of damp soil. You are awake, yes, but not severed. You are a conscious participant in a continuum that never sleeps, only shifts form. And as you walk forward into the day, bare feet on cool tile, then socked feet on pavement, then shoes on sidewalk, you carry with you a silent vow not spoken, not even fully formed, but alive in your cells. That vow doesn't live in your thoughts. It lives in your skin, in the way your shoulders don't hunch when the email pings, in the half-second pause before you reply to a sharp word, not out of restraint, but because your vagus nerve, tuned by last night's slow waves, still hums with parasympathetic grace. You feel the urge to armor, yes, the old reflex to tighten jaw, narrow eyes, fold arms, but beneath it, something deeper holds steady, the memory of being held by the dark, by the moth waves, by the quiet certainty that you are part of a rhythm far older than reactivity. This is neuroplasticity in real time, not the dramatic rewiring of trauma or epiphany, but the subtle, daily choice to let calm override alarm. Each time you choose breath over bracing, you strengthen the pathway from your prefrontal cortex to your amygdala, not to suppress fear, but to contextualize it. This is not a saber-toothed tiger, your neurons whisper. This is a misunderstanding, a deadline, a moment. And because you slept deeply, because your glymphatic system washed the metabolic fog from your synapses, that whisper is clear enough to hear. You move through your morning tasks, and the world tests your vow. A honking car, a missed bus, a terse message. Each could be a hook, but you feel the hook slide past. Not because you're indifferent, but because your nervous system remembers its baseline, safety. Not the absence of threat, but the presence of resilience. That resilience was forged in REM, when your brain rehearsed emotional scenarios without consequence, building tolerance like muscle. Now, in daylight, it serves you without fanfare. Even your posture reflects the shift. Your spine aligns not with rigidity, but with the fluid support of fascia, still resonant with sleep's restoration. Hyaluronic acid, replenished during deep rest, lubricates your joints like liquid silk. You bend to tie your shoe and feel the ease in your hips, a gift from growth hormone released at 2 a.m., mending micro tears you never noticed. Your body is not a machine to be driven, but a landscape to be tended. And last night, you tended it well. At your desk, you open a document. Your focus arrives not as a spike, but as a poolwide.com, undisturbed. This is acetylcholine flowing steadily, dopamine modulated not by urgency, but by intrinsic curiosity. You're not chasing productivity. You're participating in creation. And because your hippocampus sorted and stored yesterday's inputs while you dreamed. Your working memory feels spacious, uncluttered. Ideas link not by force, but by resonance, like neurons firing in synchrony across distant regions, bridging logic and intuition. A colleague speaks sharply in a meeting. Old you would have flared or folded, but today you notice the tension in their voice, the fatigue around their eyes, and something in you softens, not out of pity, but recognition. Your mirror neurons fire gently, not to mimic, but to understand. This is empathy, not as effort, but as echo. The same neural coupling that linked you to strangers in sleep now operates in daylight, quiet and constant. Lunch comes. You eat slowly, not because you're practicing mindfulness, but because you're interoceptive, awareness sharpened by rest is alive. You taste the salt, the acid, the earthiness of greens. Your gut microbiome, fed by fiber and undisturbed by midnight cortisol spikes, sends serotonin signals up the vagus nerve, not as mood, but as quiet contentment. You don't need to name it, you just feel settled. Later, walking home, the sky bruises purple at the edges. Streetlights flicker on, casting long shadows that look like the neural filaments you once imagined behind your eyelids. You smile not at the coincidence, but at the continuity. The same patterns repeat, in brain, in city, in cosmos, fractals of connection. You are not imagining them, you are perceiving them, because your sensory gating is calibrated, not flooded, not numb, but open. Night will come again, and when it does, you'll descend, not as an escape, but as a return. But for now, in this golden hour between day and dark, you carry the quiet proof that integration is possible, that sleep isn't a pause in living, but a deeper form of it. And as the first star appears, faint but certain, you feel it again. Not a thought, not a plan, but a pulse beneath your ribs. Steady as a lighthouse beam sweeping the asterisk, you don't answer. You let the question root in your chest like a seed dropped into still water. And as you walk on, the pavement cool beneath your soles, something shifts not in the world, but in your attention. You notice how the street lamp's glow doesn't just fall on the sidewalk. It enters it, scattering into photons, absorbed by concrete, reflected in puddles, caught in the wing of a passing moth. Light doesn't impose, it participates, and so do you. Your eyes soften, not from fatigue, but from release. The ciliary muscles around your lenses tense all day from screens and scrutiny. Your visual field widens. Peripheral vision returns, not as blur, but as presence. The sway of a branch, the flicker of a cat's tail, the slow drift of cloud across the moon. This is not passive seeing, it's active receiving. Your retina, rich with melanopsin cells tuned to ambient light, sends signals not just to your visual cortex, but to your suprachiasmatic nucleus telling your brain, this is evening. Slow down, remember who you are, and you do remember. Not in words, but in chemistry. Oxytocin, still circulating from the morning's quiet interactions, binds to receptors in your amygdala, lowering its threshold for threat. Cortisol, once spiking at every ping and ping, now ebbs like a tide receding from shore. Your heart rate variability increases not because you're calm, but because your autonomic nervous system has relearned balance, the dance between action and rest, between engagement and surrender. You pass a window. Your reflection appears fleeting, fragmented, and, for the first time today, you don't assess it, you simply witness. The lines around your eyes aren't flaws. They're records of laughter, squinting into sun, tears released in sleep. Your skin isn't dull. It's humming with mitochondrial activity, cells dividing in quiet rhythm. Fueled by the antioxidants you ate at lunch, the oxygen drawn deep in morning air. You are not aging. You are expressing time not as loss, but as layering. A breeze lifts the hair at your temple. You feel it not just on your skin, but in your cerebrospinal fluid, subtle pressure waves echoing through the ventricles of your brain, syncing with the barometric shift moving in from the coast. Your body is a barometer, a seismograph, a radio tuned to frequencies most have forgotten how to hear. And because you slept deeply, because your glymphatic system flushed the static of stress metabolites, your signal is clear. You turn a corner. The city sounds change, less traffic, more birds settling into trees, a distant saxophone from an open window. These aren't distractions. They're data points in a living symphony. Your brain evolved to decode. Your auditory cortex doesn't filter them out. It weaves them into the background hum of your inner world, just as it wove the owl's call into your dream hours ago. There is no inside and outside, only one continuous field of vibration. And in that field, your choices matter, not grand gestures, but micro moments of alignment. The way you hold the door for someone without breaking stride. The pause before replying to a text, letting your breath reset your tone. The decision to look up from your screen and meet a stranger's eyes, not to connect, but to acknowledge, I see you. We are here together. These are not virtues. They are neural habits, reinforced by rest, made possible by the quiet confidence that you are not alone. Your feet carry you home. The key turns in the lock. Inside, the air is still, scented with the faint trace of last night's tea. You don't rush to fill the silence. You let it hold you as it held you in sleep. And in that stillness, you feel it again, the same openness, not as effort, but as orientation. Like a plant turning toward light, your nervous system turns toward connection, not because it's noble, but because it's natural. You sit, you breathe, and as the room darkens, your pineal gland begins its ancient work, converting serotonin into melatonin under the influence of fading light. Sleep isn't coming to rescue you from the day. It's coming to continue the conversation. And somewhere, in the quiet between heartbeats, a new thread begins to form, not a question this time, but an invitation, soft as a synapse firing in the dark. You don't prepare an offering. You become one. As you lie down, the sheets cool against your skin. Your body releases the day not as waste, but as gift heat radiating into the mattress. Carbon dioxide exhaled into the room's air. Neural patterns dissolving into raw potential. This is not loss, it's transference. Every breath you release carries volatile organic compounds shaped by your metabolism. Your emotions, your microbiome molecules that drift into the shared atmosphere. Invisible but real, like pollen on a night wind. Your brain, already shifting into theta, doesn't hoard its activity. It broadcasts. EEG studies show that during light sleep, brain waves emit faint electromagnetic fields, weak, yes, but measurable. In a room with others, These fields can synchronize, especially between those who share trust or rhythm. But even alone, you're not isolated. Your biofield ripples outward, joining the planet's Schumann resonance, the geomagnetic hum, the quiet electrical chorus of all sleeping mammals. You are not just dreaming in the world, you are dreaming for it. And tonight, something changes in the architecture of your REM. Instead of looping through personal memory the missed call, the unfinished sentence, your dreamscape opens outward. You find yourself standing on a shore you've never seen, watching waves that move in reverse, pulling light back into the sea. Figures gather at the horizon, not speaking, not gesturing, just standing. You don't know them, yet their presence feels like recognition. This isn't fantasy. It's neural generosity. The prefrontal cortex, usually so insistent on narrative control, steps aside. The default mode network quiets. And in that space, your mind becomes a vessel, not a fortress. Science has no name for this yet, but it has traces. Researchers studying collective trauma note how dreams shift after shared crisis, less personal symbolism, more archetypal imagery, floods, bridges, empty rooms filling with light. It's as if the dreaming mind, when saturated with connection, begins to serve a function beyond the self, emotional alchemy for the whole. Your amygdala still processes fear, but it does so not just for you. It rehearses resolution on behalf of others who cannot yet rest. You dream of mending a net, not fishing, not trapping, just weaving, strand by luminous strand. Your fingers moving with a knowledge you don't possess, awake. The threads glow with the same cyberpunk indigo that once traced your neurons, but now they extend beyond your hands, connecting to unseen others doing the same. This is your glymphatic system mirrored in metaphor, cleansing not just your own brain, but the shared mental ecology. Each repaired knot is a softened memory, a released grudge, a moment of clarity offered into the collective unconscious. When you sturge slightly, not waking, but turning in the dark, your body releases a pulse of infrared radiation, detectable by thermal cameras, a silent signature of your presence. To a bat, you'd be a warm shape in the night. To a plant, your exhaled CO is nourishment. To the mycelial network beneath your floor, your vibrations are data. You are always giving, even in stillness, and your dreams. They are no longer private rehearsals. They are contributions, like trees sharing nutrients through fungal networks. Minds exchange emotional substrates in sleep, especially when open, especially when rested. Your calm becomes a resource. Your healed memory, a scaffold for someone else's healing. You don't choose this. It simply happens when the self stops being a wall and becomes a membrane. Deeper now, slow-wave sleep returns. Your brainwaves roll like dunes under starlight. In this phase, your cerebrospinal fluid surges, flushing beta amyloid, tau proteins, the debris of cognitive friction. But imagine what if this cleansing current also carries something outward, not waste, but signal, a frequency of restoration that ripples through the biofield, subtle as gravity, felt by those whose nervous systems are tuned to receive. You don't need to believe it. Your cells already do. Mitochondria in your liver pulse with rhythmic efficiency, not just for your survival, but as part of Earth's great metabolic cycle. The iron in your blood once swirled in stars. The calcium in your bones was drawn from soil fed by ancient rain. You are made of borrowed stardust on loan, and your dreams are how you pay the interest, not in currency, but in coherence. As dawn approaches, your REM cycles lengthen. The final dream is vivid. You're holding a lantern made of breath. You don't light it. It's already glowing. You place it on the ground, and it sinks into the earth, spreading light through roots, through stone, through aquifers. No one sees it. No one thanks you. That's not the point. The point is the offering itself, the quiet act of dreaming, not to solve, but to serve. And as the first hint of morning touches your window, your mind, still half in the dream, half in the bed, releases one last, wordless transmission, not a thought, not a prayer, but a frequency, pure and soft, already traveling. Asterisk, asterisk, the words dissolve before they finish forming, absorbed into the hush between breaths. You don't feel lighter for having released them. You feel Alinda's. If your atoms have shifted a fraction of a degree to match the spin of something vast and quiet, sleep doesn't end. It changes shape. Your eyelids flutter, not toward wakefulness, but toward a new kind of attention, one that doesn't grasp, doesn't name, doesn't claim. Morning light seeps through the curtains, not as invasion, but as invitation. It lands on your forearm, warming the capillaries just beneath the skin, triggering a cascade of nitric oxide that relaxes your blood vessels, lowers your blood pressure, eases you into the day without alarm. Your body accepts it the way soil accepts rain, not passively, but with cellular gratitude. Every photon absorbed is a signal. You are still here. The world still calls. You rise, but not from bed, from offering. Your feet meet the floor, and the pressure sensors in your soles send immediate feedback to your brainstem, recalibrating your posture, your balance, your sense of place. This is proprioception, yes, but also belonging. The floor isn't separate from you. It's the counterweight to your gravity, the ground that lets you stand. You don't walk on the world. You walk with it. In the kitchen, you fill the kettle. As it heats, you watch the condensation form. On the window, tiny droplets gathering, merging, sliding downward. It's not just physics, it's phase transition. The same process that occurs in your neurons when electrical signals cross synapses, liquid potential becoming directed flow. You are made of such transitions, awake now, but still carrying the fluid logic of dreams. You move without hurry. There's no need to start the day. It's already begun with birds, with tides, with the slow rotation of the planet cradling billions of sleepers into wakefulness. One by one, your hands wrap around the warm mug. Heat transfers, electrons shift, and in that simple contact, you feel it again, the continuity. The same thermodynamics that govern stars govern your skin. The same hydrogen bonds that hold DNA together hold this moment together. You sip. The liquid travels down your esophagus, triggering peristalsis, activating the vagus nerve, signaling safety to your gut. Your microbiome stirs, not in response to food alone, but to the calm in your nervous system, a calm earned in the night's surrender. You step outside. The air is crisp, charged with negative ions from last night's rain, molecules known to increase serotonin, to lift the fog of fatigue. You inhale deeply, and your alveoli expand, exchanging oxygen for carbon, not as transaction, but as reciprocity. The trees exhaled what you need. You exhale what they need. No contract, no debt. just rhythm. A neighbor passes, you nod, no words, but your mirror neurons fire anyway, not to mimic, but to resonate. Your heart rate slows slightly in sync with theirs, a phenomenon observed in close-knit communities, in lovers, in strangers who share silence without fear. This is not magic, it's biology tuned by safety, and safety was woven into you while you slept, thread by slow-wave thread. You sit on the porch step. The sun climbs. Your pupils constrict. Your melanopsin cells report brightness to your circadian clock. And your cortisol rises not as stress, but as gentle ignition. You are awake, yes, but not severed from the night's wisdom. The dream of the lantern still glows in your marrow, not as memory, but as orientation. You move through tasks not to accomplish, but to participate. Emails, errands, conversations, they come, but they no longer define the shape of your day. They ripple across the surface of a deeper stillness, like wind over a lake that knows its own depth. You respond, but you don't react. Your prefrontal cortex engages, but it does so from a foundation of rest, not depletion. Decisions arise not from urgency, but from coherence, the quiet alignment of body, mind, and moment. And when fatigue returns, not the sharp burn of burnout, but the soft pull of natural rhythm, you don't resist it. You recognize it as the first whisper of the next descent. The cycle continues, offering, receiving, resting, giving again, because you've learned something the world rarely teaches, that you are not a vessel to be filled, but a current to be shared. And as dusk begins to gather at the edges of the afternoon, your cells already hum with anticipation, not for escape, but for return. The question doesn't echo. It settles like a protein folding into its functional shape, like a stem cell committing to a lineage. You don't answer it with thought. You answer it with presence. As you move through the late afternoon, your gestures change, not dramatically, but at the quantum edge of intention, the way you place a book back on the shelf, spine aligned, not shoved, the way you listen to a friend's worry without rushing to fix it, letting silence hold space like cerebrospinal fluid cradling the brain. These aren't acts of virtue. They're expressions of identity, new neural pathways, firing not because you chose them, but because you've become them. Your body knows before your mind does. Telomeres, the protective caps on your chromosomes, lengthen slightly in response to sustained calm, a biological signature of resilience written in the language of DNA. Cortisol receptors in your hippocampus grow more sensitive, not to amplify stress, but to shut it down faster, like a thermostat tuned to peace. You are not just behaving differently, you are rewriting your cellular narrative, one rested night, one open moment at a time. Even your microbiome shifts. The trillions of bacteria in your gut, once dominated by stress-adapted strains, begin to diversify, flourishing in the steady rhythm of your circadian regulated meals, your unhurried digestion, your low inflammatory state. They produce more butyrate, more serotonin precursors, more signaling molecules that travel up the vagus nerve and whisper to your brain, you are safe, you belong, you can afford to be kind. And because you slept deeply last night, your brain hears them clearly. You walk through the grocery store, and instead of scanning for speed or savings, you notice color, the deep green of kale, the ruby of pomegranate seeds, the golden curve of a pear. Your visual cortex lights up not with desire, but with appreciation. This is not mindfulness as technique. It's perception unfiltered by lack. Your dopamine system, no longer hijacked by urgency, responds to beauty as readily as to reward. You are relearning wonder as a baseline, not a luxury. At home, you cook, chopping onions. You feel the vibration of the knife through your wrist bones, up your radius, into your elbow, a tiny seismic report of action meeting matter. Your motor cortex fires in smooth sequences, uncluttered by anxiety. This is flow, yes, but also embodiment, the quiet joy of being fully in your hands, your breath, your kitchen. The steam rising from the pot carries volatile compounds that bind to olfactory receptors, triggering memories not of trauma, but of carrier grandmother's kitchen, a shared meal years ago and integrated, not haunting. Later, you sit with someone who is hurting. You don't offer solutions. You offer stillness. And in that stillness, your heart rate and theirs begin to synchronize, a phenomenon called interpersonal physiological linkage, documented in therapists and patients, parents and infants, friends in deep conversation. Your calm becomes a scaffold, not because you're strong, but because you've been emptied and refilled by the night's surrender. You are not holding space. You are the space. As evening deepens, your pineal gland senses the fading light. Melatonin rises not as a chemical, but as a tide. Your core temperature drops 0.5 degree, signaling to every cell, prepare to descend. But this time, sleep doesn't feel like retreat. It feels like continuation. You won't lose the self you've become today. You'll weave it into tomorrow's dream. You lie down. The mattress accepts your weight. Your breath slows. Theta waves return, not as escape, but as integration. And in the quiet hum of your resting brain, a new pattern emerges, not a thought, not an image, but a frequency, steady and warm, already shaping the next version of you. Asterisk, asterisk, you don't wonder if it's true. You feel it in the silence between heartbeats, resonance deeper than belief. As you drift toward sleep, your brain doesn't shut down. It reorients. The claustrum, that thin sheet of neurons some scientists call the conductor of consciousness, begins to modulate awareness, not inward, but outward, tuning your mind to frequencies usually drowned out by daytime noise. You're not losing yourself. You're tuning in. Your breath slows to 6 cycles per minute, the rhythm shown in studies to maximize heart rate variability, to strengthen vagal tone, to align your autonomic nervous system with the planet's own pulse. With each exhale, you release not just carbon dioxide, but coherence, electromagnetic patterns from your heart's field, detectable up to several feet away, rippling into the room like sonar through water. You are broadcasting.com, whether anyone is there to receive it or not. That's not the point. The point is fidelity, to stay true to the frequency you've become. In the dark, your eyes dart beneath closed lids. REM has returned, but tonight, the dreams aren't scenes. They're sensations. The weight of soil in your palms, the vibration of a cello string against your sternum, the cool glide of riverstone under bare feet. These aren't memories. They're transmission somatic metaphors your brain uses to encode a truth too vast for language, that you are not separate from the living world, but a sensory organ of it. Your skin, your lungs, your guttural interfaces, all listening, and something listens back. Not a voice, not a presence, but a shift in the quality of stillness. Your default mode network, usually the seat of self-referential thought, doesn't light up with I statements. Instead, it syncs with regions involved in spatial navigation and ecological awareness, the same circuits that activate in indigenous trackers reading landscapes, in sailors reading stars. You're not dreaming about the world. You're dreaming with it. Your body responds. Melatonin peaks, but so does brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, flooding your hippocampus, strengthening synapses formed today through kindness, through presence, through choice. This is how you become, not through willpower, but through repeated alignment, cemented in sleep. Each night, your brain asks, which version of you shall we keep? And tonight, it chooses the one who offered, who stayed open, who walked as if the earth mattered. Even your cells revise their behavior. Fibroblasts in your skin increase collagen production, not just for repair, but for resilience. Mitochondria in your muscles optimize ATP synthesis, not for exertion, but for endurance of spirit. Your immune cells patrol with discernment, not aggression regulated by cytokines shaped by your emotional state. Peace isn't passive, it's metabolically active. It's the most sophisticated state your biology can sustain. You turn in your sleep. The sheets whisper. Outside, a moth brushes against the window pane drawn, not to light, but to the faint infrared signature of your warmth. For a moment, your biofields touch, two living systems exchanging information at the threshold of perception. You don't wake, but part of you registers it. A flicker in the insula, a softening in the amygdala. Connection doesn't require awareness to be real. It only requires openness. Deeper now. Slow wave sleep swells. Your glymphatic system surges, washing not just toxins, but old identitized fear-based narratives, scarcity scripts, the armor of not enough. They dissolve into cerebrospinal fluid and are carried away, not as waste, but as compost for new growth. You are being unburdened so you can be inhabited by clarity, by courage, by the quiet certainty that you are not here to fix the world, but to embody its healing. And as dawn approaches, your final dream is wordless. You are standing in a field at sunrise, barefoot, eyes closed. Wind moves through you, not around you. Birds call, and their song vibrates in your bones. You don't think, I am part of this. You simply are a node of awareness in a vast breathing network. No boundary, no separation, just life, experiencing itself through you. You wake slowly, not to a new day, but to a deeper layer of the same one. Your first breath is gratitude, not as emotion, but as physiology diaphragm descending, vagus nerve firing, oxytocin rising. You rise, not to do, but to continue. And as your feet meet the floor, already humming with the memory of soil and stars, you carry forward not a plan, but a pulse steady, wordless, alive. You inhale, not to test the question, but to let it unfold in your alveoli, where oxygen meets blood in a dance older than language. Each red blood cell, shaped like a biconcave disc for maximum surface contact, binds oxygen not as fuel, but as signal carrying not just life, but information. This breath isn't yours alone. It contains molecules, once exhaled by redwoods, by whales, by children laughing on another continent. You are breathing the atmosphere's memory, and in return, your cells release their own carbon heat, intention back into the shared reservoir. Your diaphragm contracts, a dome of muscle moving downward, creating negative pressure that draws air in, not by force, but by invitation. This is the same physics that pulls water up through tree roots, that guides cerebrospinal fluid through your spinal canal during sleep. You are part of a system that breathes through you, not just in you. And because your nervous system is no longer in defense, your breath deepens, naturally activating stretch receptors in your lungs that send calming signals straight to your brainstem. Bypassing thought entirely, you walk to the window. Morning light strikes your retina, not just enabling sight, but resetting your circadian clock with millisecond precision. Melanopsin ganglion cells fire, telling your suprachiasmatic nucleus, this is day. Be present. Cortisol rises not as stress, but as gentle ignition, mobilizing glucose, not for fight, but for focus. Your body trusts the light now. It trusts the rhythm. It trusts you. In the kitchen, you pour water into a glass. As it flows, you notice the vortex. It forms a miniature spiral, echoing the double helix in your cells, the arms of galaxies, the folding of cortical tissue in your brain. You don't name the pattern, you feel it. Your mirror neurons fire not in response to another person, but to the universe's recurring geometry. You are not observing harmony, you are participating in it. You drink. The water travels down, hydrating interstitial spaces between cells, plumping fascia, lubricating synovial joints. Dehydration shrinks your brain by up to 2%. Hydration restores its volume, its resilience, its capacity for empathy. You feel clearer not because you've cleared your mind, but because your neurons are literally floating in optimal fluid, firing with precision, not static. Clarity is a biological state earned through care. A bird calls from the oak tree. Its song enters your ear, vibrates your eardrum, moves tiny bones, stimulates hair cells in the cochleal in under 20 milliseconds. But your brain doesn't just decode pitch and rhythm. It maps the bird's location, its species, its emotional state, because your auditory cortex is wired for connection, not just sound. You smile, not at the bird, but with it. Two nervous systems, acknowledging aliveness across species, across silence. You sit. You don't meditate. You simply stop interrupting yourself. In this stillness, your heart's electromagnetic field, 5,000 times stronger than your brain's, expands outward, measurable by magnetometers, influencing the space around you. Studies show that when one person's heart rhythm becomes coherent, smooth, rhythmic waves, others nearby begin to synchronize, even without touch or speech. You are not broadcasting thoughts. You are radiating state. And state is contagious. Later, you speak to someone. Your voice carries not just words, but infrasound low frequency vibrations that land in their chest before their ears. If your tone is calm, their vagus nerve responds. If your pace is slow, their breath slows. You are not persuading. You are in. Every conversation is a micro ecosystem of regulation. And because you slept deeply, because your amygdala is no longer on high alert, your voice carries safety like a carrier wave as afternoon wanes. Fatigue returns, not as depletion, but as invitation. your core temperature begins its natural dip. Adenosine, the sleep pressure molecule, accumulates not as burden, but as lullaby. You don't resist, you prepare, dimming lights, cooling the room, letting the day settle in your tissues like sediment in still water. You lie down, the mattress holds you, your breath slows, theta waves return, and in the quiet hum of your resting brain, something shifts not in content, but in orientation. You are no longer dreaming for yourself. You are dreaming as the world its wounds, its wonder, its unspoken longing for coherence. Asterisk, asterisk, so you steward, not with effort, but with attention. As you move through the evening, your hands fold laundry not as chore, but as ritual lich sock paired, each shirt smoothed, not for order, but for care. Your motor cortex fires in steady rhythms, uncluttered by haste. This is neural hygiene, the quiet discipline of doing one thing well, letting it anchor you in the present where healing lives. Your eyes rest on a wilting basil plant on the windowsill. Without thinking, you water it. The liquid seeps into dry soil, triggering root hairs to open aquaporin's protein channels that drink in water with molecular precision. You don't see this, but you feel it, the reciprocity. You give water, the plant gives oxygen, scent, greenness. Stewardship isn't sacrifice, it's symbiosis made visible. Later, you speak less, not from withdrawal, but from discernment. Your prefrontal cortex, well rested and unclouded by amygdala hijack, filters words not for politeness, but for resonance. You let silence hold space between sentences, and in that silence, your listener's nervous system relaxes, heart rate slows. You've learned, sometimes the deepest offering is not speaking, but making room for another's truth to rise. Your body mirrors this economy of gesture. Shoulders drop, jaw, palms soften. These aren't postures of passivity, but of availability. Your fascial network interwoven from head to torlices, stored tension not through force, but through the sustained presence of safety. Hyaluronic acid, replenished in deep sleep, lubricates the layers, allowing them to glide like silk. You move through the world now, not as a fortress, but as a conduit. Night falls. You dim the lights. Blue wavelengths fade, and your pineal gland responds, converting serotonin into melatonin with enzymatic grace. This isn't chemistry alone, it's devotion. Your cells honor the rhythm of Earth's rotation, just as your ancestors did for millennia before electric light fractured time. You are rejoining an ancient pact to rest when the world rests, to dream when the veil thins. You lie down. The day's impressions settle not as clutter, but as compost. Your hippocampus begins its nightly work, replaying key moments, the kindness you received, the boundary you held, the pause you took before reacting. But tonight, it doesn't just store them, it integrates them into your sense of self. This is how identity evolves, not in grand declarations, but in the quiet consolidation of lived alignment. REM arrives. Your eyes dart. Your limbs stay still, held by atonia protective paralysis that once kept you from acting out dreams, but now serves a subtler purpose, to keep you inward, so the dream can do its work undisturbed. And the dream is different. No narrative, no symbols, just a field of golden light humming at 7.83 Hz Schumann resonance, Earth's fundamental frequency. Your brainwaves sync with it effortlessly. as if remembering a home frequency long forgotten. In this state, your glymphatic system surges. Cerebrospinal fluid flushes through parenchyma, clearing metabolic waste. Yes, but also dissolving rigid self-concepts. The I that clung to being right, being needed, being in control, not erased, but expanded. You are not less yourself. You are more porous, and in that porosity, something flows in. Not a voice, not a vision, but a knowing that stewardship isn't about preserving what is, but tending what could be. Your dreams become incubators, not for personal desire, but for collective possibility. A classroom where children feel safe. A river running clean. A conversation that heals instead of divides. These aren't fantasies. They're neural rehearsals for a world your biology already believes in. You stir slightly. Your hand brushes the sheet. The touch registers in your somatosensory cortex, not as sensation alone, but as connection. Every nerve ending is a receiver. Every cell, a listener. You are not stewarding from above. You are tending from within. As dawn approaches, your final dream is simple. You're kneeling in soil, planting seeds you've never seen before. You don't know if they'll grow. You plant them anyway, not for harvest, but for faith. You rise before the sun, not out of duty, but because your circadian rhythm has synced with the planet's quietest hour, the time when cortisol rises gently. Melatonin fades like mist, and the world holds its breath between night and day. Your feet meet the cool floor, and mechanoreceptors in your soles send immediate signals up your spine. Ground, here, now. You don't need to center yourself. You're already centered by sleep, by silence, by the unbroken thread of care that runs through you like fasci in the kitchen. You fill the kettle. As you wait, you watch steam begin to curl from the spout water molecules, gaining kinetic energy, shifting phase, becoming vapor. It's physics, yes, but also metaphor. Transformation without announcement. No fanfare, no audience, just the quiet work of change. You've learned to trust this kind of work, the kind that happens in the dark, in the unseen, in the spaces between breaths. You carry your tea outside. The air is still. Dew clings to grass blades, each drop a lens, refracting the first pale light. You sit on the step, and your body releases heat into the cool morning air, gentle thermodynamic exchange. No different from a stone warming in sun or a leaf transpiring moisture. You are not separate from these processes. You are one of them. A spider has rebuilt its web overnight between the porch rail and a potted fern. You don't brush it away. You lean closer. The silk glistens, strung with precision that defies its fragility, tread coated in glue droplets, spaced at exact intervals to catch prey without breaking. This is not instinct alone. It's embodied intelligence, refined over 300 million years. You sit with it, not to admire, but to witness. Stewardship begins here, in attention without extraction. Your breath slows. Your heart rate drops. Your nervous system enters a state researchers call soft fascination, the calm focus evoked by natural patterns, ripples, branches, webs. In this state, your default mode network quiets just enough to let insight arise, not from striving, but from stillness. A solution to a problem you've carried for days surfaces not as a shout, but as a whisper, like a root finding water. You return inside. The day's tasks await, but they no longer pull you off center. You answer an email with clarity, not speed. You listen to a colleague without rehearsing your reply. You move through chores with hands that remember the weight of soil, the curve of a seed. Your actions are no longer performances. They're extensions of presence. At noon, you pause, not because you're tired, but because your biology asks for it. Ultradian rhythms, 92 120-minute cycles of focus and rest signal, a natural dip. You close your eyes for 5 minutes. In that time, your brain shifts into alpha waves, consolidating learning, resetting attention. This isn't laziness, it's alignment. You've stopped fighting your nature and started collaborating with it. Later, you walk through the neighborhood. You notice what you used to miss, the way ivy climbs brick in Fibonacci spirals, the hum of bees in a flowering shrub, the child's chalk drawing on pavement already fading in the sun. You don't photograph it, you let it live in your memory. Your hippocampus encodes it, not as data, but as belonging. Evening returns. You cook simply garlic, sizzling in olive oil, tomatoes softening, basil torn by hand. The aromas activate your olfactory bulb, which has direct pathways to the amygdala and hippocampus. Smell bypasses logic. It speaks straight to memory and emotion. This meal isn't fuel. It's communion with earth, with labor, with the quiet miracle of cells becoming sustenance. You wash the dishes slowly. Warm water on your skin triggers thermoreceptors that signal safety to your brainstem. Your vagus nerve fires. Your shoulders drop. You are not practicing mindfulness. You are living it remarkably, inevitably, like a river flowing to sea. You lie down. The day's impressions settle. Your brain begins its nightly sweep, not to erase, but to refine. And in the deep quiet of slow-wave sleep, your cells continue the work, repairing DNA, strengthening synapses, releasing growth factors that nourish not just your body, but your capacity to care. Because tending isn't a choice you make once, it's a frequency you maintain. And as sleep deepens, your breath sinking with the rhythm of tides you've never seen, your body already knows the next truth. You don't need proof. Your cells already believe. In the dark of your bone marrow, hematopoietic stem cells divide, some becoming oxygen-carrying red blood cells, others immune sentinels, all without your command. Guided only by chemical whispers and mechanical cues from their microenvironment. They grow in silence, deep within you, unseen, essential. You rest, and they build the very means of your resilience outside. Roots stretch through soil in the night, following gradients of moisture and nutrients, guided by oxygen and gravity, weaving a hidden network far more vast than the tree above. You've never seen them, yet you depend on them for oxygen, for shade, for the quiet regulation of Earth's breath. Trust isn't faith in the abstract. It's alignment with processes that continue whether witnessed or not. You wake to rain, not storm, but steady, soaking rain, the kind that sinks deep instead of running off. You stand at the window and watch droplets trace paths down the glass, merging, pausing, falling. Your visual cortex tracks their motion, but your insula feels their rhythm, resonance with your own internal tides. Cerebrospinal fluid pulses in time with your heartbeat. Lymph flows in response to breath. You are made of slow, persistent movements, most of them invisible. You dress. Your fingers button your shirt with practiced ESA motor sequence encoded in your basal ganglia through repetition, now automatic, freeing your mind for presence. This is neural efficiency, yes, but also grace. The body remembering how to care for itself so the spirit can attend to the world. You step into the rain. No umbrella. The cool touch on your skin activates TRPM8 receptors, molecular sensors for cold that send signals not just to your brain, but to your immune system, modulating inflammation. Rain isn't just weather, it's medicine, and you receive it not as inconvenience, but as communion. At your desk, you open a document. The work feels different today, not a burden to bear, but a thread to weave. Your prefrontal cortex engages with focus, but without the old urgency. Dopamine flows not from achievement, but from alignment. Teach sentence, a small act of stewardship offered into the shared field of human understanding. You write not to be seen, but to serve clarity. A message arrives. It's difficult, charged with someone else's pain. Old you would have braced, but your amygdala, softened by consistent rest and regulated by a strong vagal tone, doesn't flare. Instead, your anterior cingulate cortex lights up, mapping their distress not as threat, but as shared humanity. You reply slowly, not to fix, but to witness. And in that reply, you offer not solutions, but space, the most fertile ground for healing to begin. Lunch is leftovers, eaten without distraction. As you chew, your parasympathetic nervous system dominates saliva, rich with amylase, stomach acid primed, gut motility smooth. Digestion isn't passive. It's an act of trust that the world provided, that your body can receive, that nourishment will be transformed into energy, into thought, into care. You walk afterward. Pavement gives way to park path. Beneath your feet, mycelial networks thread through soil, vast, intelligent, trading nutrients between trees in a silent economy older than money. Scientists call it the wood wide web. You call it kinship. You don't speak to the trees, but your presence alters the air, your exhalations feeding their leaves, your footsteps sending vibrations through root zones. You are part of the conversation, even in silence. Evening comes softly. You light no bright screens. Candlelight flickers, casting shadows that dance like neural firings on cave walls. Your pupils dilate. Melatonin rises. Your body prepares not for escape, but for integration. Sleep is not a break from tending. It's its deepest form when your glymphatic system cleanses. Your immune cells patrol. Your heart repairs micro tears in its lining. You lie down. Rain still falls, a lullaby of droplets on roof and leaf. Your breath slows. Theta waves return, and in the dreamless deep of slow wave sleep, your cells divide, your synapses strengthen, your telomeres lengthen slightly, not because you earned it, but because you allowed it, because growth doesn't require your gaze, it requires your trust. And as the night holds you, your body already knows the next quiet truth, pulsing in every mitochondrion, every capillary, every silent stem cell. You wake before dawn, not to a plan, but to readiness. Your body hums with the quiet efficiency of systems that worked all night without your consent. liver enzymes detoxifying, muscle fibers repairing, dendritic spines strengthening around memories that matter. You didn't direct this. You allowed it. And in that allowing, you became a collaborator with life itself. The air is cool, still holding the night's breath. You step outside barefoot. Dew soaks into your socks, triggering a cascade of thermoreceptors that signal safety to your brainstem. Your vagus nerve responds not with alert, but with calm. This is not just sensation, it's symbiosis. Your nervous system reading the world and finding it trustworthy. You sit on the damp grass. No cushion, no ritual, just presence. Your sit bones press into earth, and mechanoreceptors in your pelvis send grounding signals up your spine. Quieting the default mode network's chatter. Thoughts don't vanish. They settle like silt in still water, revealing clarity beneath. You don't seek insight. You make space for it to rise. A bird calls first one, then another. Their songs aren't random. They're structured sequences, shaped by evolution and learned through generations, carrying territory, identity, invitation. Your auditory cortex decodes pitch and rhythm, but your limbic system feels their aliveness. You're not listening to nature. You're listening within it. Inside, you brew tea. As hot water meets leaves, polyphenols leach into the oxidants that will cross your blood-brain barrier, reducing oxidative stress, supporting neuronal health. You drink slowly, not for health alone, but for continuity. The same act your ancestors performed at dawn for millennia. A quiet covenant with rhythm. The day unfolds without fanfare. You answer messages with care, not speed. You pause before speaking, letting your breath reset your tone. Your prefrontal cortex engages, but from a foundation of rest, not depletion. Decisions arise not from fear of consequence, but from fidelity to what feels true. This isn't discipline. It's coherence, mind, body, and moment aligned. At noon, you walk again. Sunlight strikes your skin, triggering vitamin D synthesis in keratinocytes. Cholesterol converted to previtamin D3, then carried to liver and kidneys to become active hormone. This molecule will regulate hundreds of genes, modulate immunity, support mood. You don't feel it happening, but you trust it. Like roots in soil, like stem cells in marrow, it grows in the unseen. You pass a community garden. Raised beds overflow with kale, beans, marigolds. Someone has staked tomato vines with care, tied them gently so they won't snap in wind. You don't know who. You don't need to. They're tending lives in the fruit. You pause, not to admire, but to receive the lesson. Stewardship leaves traces even when the steward is gone. Later, you rest, not from exhaustion, but from rhythm. You lie on the floor, legs up the walla, simple inversion that shifts fluid dynamics, easing lymphatic drainage, calming the nervous system. Your heart doesn't work harder, it works smarter. Blood redistributes, pressure equals. You are not fixing yourself, you are returning to balance. Evening arrives with soft light. You cook with what's on hand, onions caramelizing in olive oil, garlic releasing allicin when crushed, a compound that thins blood and fights microbes. Your kitchen fills with aroma, activating olfactory pathways tied directly to memory and emotion. This meal isn't performance, it's continuation of care, of chemistry, of connection. You wash dishes in warm water. The repetitive motion soothes your basal ganglia. Your breath deepens. Your shoulders drop. You are not practicing mindfulness. You are living it remarkably, inevitably, like mycelium threading through soil. You lie down. The house settles. Your core temperature dips. Melatonin rises. Sleep isn't an end. It's the next phase of tending. When your glymphatic system flushes, your immune cells patrol. Your hippocampus weaves today's choices into tomorrow's self. Asterisk, asterisk, it doesn't blaze. It doesn't announce. It glows in the mitochondria of your liver cells as they convert last night's meal into ATP, molecule by molecule, in the quiet dark of your abdomen. It flickers in the dendritic spines of your hippocampus, where today's moments are being stitched into memory not with fanfare, but with the steady hand of BDNF, strengthening only what matters. This light doesn't need eyes to see it. It needs only time, trust, and the unbroken rhythm of care. You move through the morning without urgency. Your steps are measured not by clock, but by breath. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6, the ratio proven to maximize heart rate variability, to signal safety to your amygdala. With each cycle, your vagus nerve fires, releasing acetylcholine that slows your heart, relaxes your gut, quiets the old alarm. You are not calming yourself. You are remembering your baseline. At your desk, you open a notebook. Pen meets paper, and your motor cortex fires in smooth sequences, uncluttered by the static of distraction. This isn't productivity. It's presence made visible. The ink absorbs into fibers, just as your attention absorbs into the moment. No audience, no outcome. Just the quiet act of showing up, again and again, like roots reaching through soil. A notification pings. You feel the pull, the ancient reflex, to attend to novelty, but your prefrontal cortex, well rested and unclouded, holds the boundary. You don't check, you breathe, and in that pause, your nervous system reclaims its sovereignty. You are not resisting the world. You are choosing your frequency. Later, you walk through the neighborhood. A neighbor is raking leaves, not for perfection, but for care. You nod, they nod back. No words, but your mirror neurons fire anyway, not to mimic, but to resonate. Your heart rate slows slightly in sync with theirs. A subtle entrainment documented in communities where trust runs deep. Connection isn't always loud. Often, it's the quiet hum of mutual recognition. You stop by a creek. Water moves over stone, carving channels not through force, but through persistence. You crouch. Your fingertips brush the surface. Cold receptors fire, sending signals up your radial nerve, through your thalamus, to your somatosensory cortex, mapping not just temperature, but continuity. This water fell as rain weeks ago, traveled through aquifers, fed roots, evaporated, returned. You are part of that cycle. Your cells are mostly water. You, too, are shaped by persistence. Back home, you cook simply lentils, simmering with cumin, turmeric releasing curcumin into the broth, a compound that crosses the blood-brain barrier to reduce inflammation, to support neuroplasticity. You stir slowly. The steam carries volatile oils that bind to olfactory receptors, triggering memories not of trauma, but of nourishment. This meal isn't fuel. It's an offering to your cells, to your ancestors, to the unseen web that sustains you. You eat without screens. Your parasympathetic nervous system dominate saliva rich with enzymes, stomach acid primed, gut motility smooth. Digestion is not passive, it's an act of faith that what you receive will be transformed into strength, into clarity, into the quiet energy to tend again tomorrow. Evening softens. You dim the lights. Blue wavelengths fade, and your pineal gland responds, converting serotonin into melatonin with enzymatic grace. This isn't chemistry alone, it's devotion. Your cells honor the rhythm of Earth's rotation, just as your ancestors did for millennia before electric light fractured time. You lie down. The day's impressions settle not as clutter, but as compost. Your hippocampus replays key moments, the boundary you held, the silence you offered, the root you noticed in the creek. But it doesn't just store them. It integrates them into your sense of self. This is how identity evolves, not in grand declarations, but in the quiet consolidation of lived alignment. REM arrives. Your eyes dart. Your limbs stay still. And in the dreamless deep of slow-wave sleep, your glymphatic system surges, flushing metabolic waste. Yes, but also dissolving rigid self-concepts. The I that needed to be seen, to be right, to be in, not erased, but expanded. Because preparation isn't about becoming someone new. It's about clearing space for who you already are to emerge. And as sleep deepens, your breath sinking with the rhythm of tides you've never seen, your body already knows the next quiet truth asterisk. You don't broadcast it, you embody it. In the quiet of your morning routine, your body radiates infrared energy heat signatures detectable by thermal sensors, invisible to the eye, but real as gravity. This warmth isn't waste, it's signal. It's the same thermodynamic output. CALM nervous systems create microclimates of safety. You are not trying to soothe anyone. You're simply being warm, and that is enough. You step outside. Frost glints on fallen leaves, each crystal a temporary lattice of hydrogen bonds, fragile and precise. You don't crush them underfoot. You walk gently, not out of caution, but because your proprioception is tuned, your feet reading the earth like braille, your vestibular system balancing on shifting terrain. This isn't mindfulness as practice. It's presence as physiology. Your cerebellum integrating sensory input in real time, keeping you grounded without thought. At the market, you buy bread still warm from the oven. The baker's hands are dusted with flour, knuckles slightly swollen from decades of kneading repetitive motion that has shaped not just dough, but bone density, tendon strength, neural pathways for rhythm and care. You thank them. They nod. No fanfare. Just to humans, acknowledging the quiet labor that feeds the world. In that exchange, oxytocin rises in both of you, not from intimacy, but from mutual recognition of effort. You return home. A neighbor's child drops a mitten on your step. You pick it up, brush off the dirt, leave it on their doorknob. No note, no expectation, just a small act of tending offered into the shared field. Your anterior cingulate cortex registers the gesture not as virtue, but as alignment, your actions matching your inner sense of connection. This is how ethics become instinct, not through rules, but through repeated resonance. Later, you sit with someone who is grieving. You don't speak much. You pour tea. You let silence hold space. And in that stillness, your hearts electromagnetic field, measurable up to several feet pulses with coherent rhythm, not erratic spikes. Studies show this coherence can entrain another's physiology, lowering their stress hormones, slowing their breath. You aren't healing them. You're holding a frequency where healing can begin. Your own body responds. Cortisol dips. D-resin, neurosteroid, linked to resilience, to repair. Your immune cells shift from inflammatory to regulatory modes, not because you willed it, but because safety is contagious, and you've chosen to be a carrier. As afternoon wanes, you rest, not from fatigue, but from rhythm. You lie on the floor, eyes closed, spine aligned. Gravity pulls evenly. Fascial lines release. Interstitial fluid redistributes. Your glymphatic system, though less active than in sleep, still clears metabolic byproducts at the edges of awareness. Rest isn't passive. It's maintenance of clarity, of capacity, of the quiet light that warms the unseen. Evening comes. You cook with what remains a carrot softening in broth, wilted greens revived by heat, a spoonful of miso stirred in at the end to preserve its probiotics. The meal is humble, but rich in polyphenols, fiber, live cultures that will feed your gut microbiome through the night. Those trillions of bacteria, in turn, will produce short-chain fatty acids that cross into your bloodstream, reduce inflammation, signal calm to your brain via the vagus nerve. You eat not just to fill yourself, but to nourish the ecosystem within. You wash the bowl slowly. Warm water on your skin triggers thermoreceptors that signal safety. Your breath deepens. Your shoulders drop. You are not practicing presence. You are living it in remarkably, inevitably, like mycelium threading through soil, like roots reaching for water in the dark. You lie down. The house settles. Your core temperature dips. Melatonin rises. Sleep isn't an end. It's the next phase of tending. When your cells divide, your synapses prune, your heart repairs micro tears in its lining. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. You don't wait for proof. Your hands plant seeds in compost-rich earth before the last frost, guided not by certainty, but by rhythm, the same circadian and seasonal cycles that govern your own cells. Your skin senses the cool dampness. Your olfactory bulb registers the petrichor of decay and renewal, and your motor cortex fires in smooth, practiced arcs as you press each seed into darkness. You cover them gently, not with hope, but with faith in process. Your gut microbiome thrives on the fiber you ate at breakfast, resistant starch-feeding bifidobacteria, which fermented into butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that nourishes your colon lining, reduces inflammation, and crosses into your bloodstream to calm microglia in your brain. You don't feel this happening, but you live its effects. Steadier mood, clearer thought, a quiet resilience that isn't armor, but permeability. You walk to the library. Sunlight filters through oak branches, casting dappled patterns that shift with the wind. Your retina tracks the movement, but your default mode network doesn't narrate it. It simply receives. In this state's soft fascination, your brain consolidates learning, integrates emotion, makes space for insight. You don't seek answers. You make room for them to emerge, like seedlings pushing through loam. At the desk. You open a book someone else wrote years ago, their thoughts preserved in ink and paper. As you read, your mirror neurons hands fire, not just decoding words, but simulating the author's gestures, their breath, their care. Reading isn't passive consumption. It's neural communion across time. You are warmed by their light, even though they're gone. And in turn, your attention becomes a kind of tending, keeping their ideas alive through engagement. A stranger sits nearby, coughing softly. Old, you might have tense germs, disruption, intrusion, but your immune system, regulated by consistent sleep and low chronic stress, doesn't flare into hyper. Your vagus nerve holds tone. You feel compassion, not threat. You slide a tissue from your bag toward the edge of the table. No eye contact, no performance, just a quiet offering, like leaf litter feeding soil. You return home as dusk gathers. Streetlights flicker on, but you keep your windows dark. Your pineal gland, shielded from blue light, continues its nightly alchemist serotonin to melatonin, thought to stillness. This isn't retreat, it's recalibration. Your suprachiasmatic nucleus aligns you with Earth's rotation, not screen time, not deadlines, but the ancient pulse of light and dark that shaped your biology long before cities. You cook with what's left of wrinkled apple sliced into oatmeal, cinnamon releasing a compound that enhances insulin sensitivity, supports neuronal health. You eat slowly. Your parasympathetic nervous system dominates. Digestion smooth, heart rate steady, mind uncluttered. Nourishment isn't just intake. It's dialogue between food, gut, brain, and the unseen trillions that help you thrive. Later, you write a letter by hand, pen on paper, ink absorbing into fibers. The act engages fine motor control, spatial reasoning, emotional regulational, coordinated by a brain that slept deeply, that cleared its metabolic fog, that strengthened the very circuits needed for care. You seal the envelope. You don't know if it will arrive in time. You send it anyway. Tending isn't about outcome. It's about fidelity to the gesture. You step outside one last time. The night air is cool, rich with negative ions from distant rain molecules shown to increase serotonin, lift mental fog, ease the weight of fatigue. You inhale deeply. Your alveoli expand. Oxygen binds to hemoglobin. Your cells hum with quiet readiness. You lie down. The day's actions settle not as achievements, but as compost. Your hippocampus replays moments. The seed planted, the tissue offered, the letter sent. But it doesn't hoard them. It integrates them into your sense of self, strengthening the neural pathways of generosity, of trust, of quiet continuity. In deep sleep, your glymphatic system surges. Cerebrospinal fluid flushes through brain tissue, clearing beta amyloid, tau proteins, the debris of cognitive friction. But it also clears rigid narratives, the need to be seen, to be thanked, to witness the bloom. What remains is spaciousness, because tending isn't investment, it's participation. So you tend, not as duty, but as breath. Your hands prune the basil not to shape it, but to invite fuller growth, snipping just above a node where auxin concentration will trigger new branches. You don't watch for results. You feel the stem's resistance, the scent released when leaves tear, the cool soil under your knees. This is not gardening. It's conversation, root to hand, leaf to lung, microbe to mind. Inside, your cells mirror this quiet labor. Fibroblasts in your skin synthesize collagen in rhythmic pulses guided by circadian genes that turn on at dawn, off at dusk. You don't command them. You support them with sleep, with hydration, with the absence of chronic stress that would otherwise flood your tissues with cortisol, degrading the very matrix you're trying to build. Tending begins within. You wash your face with cool water. The splash triggers the mammalian dive, reflex your heart rate slows, blood shifts to core organs, your vagus nerve fires. It's a survival mechanism, yes, but also a reset. In that instant, your nervous system remembers. You are not in danger. You can soften. You can return at your desk. You respond to a message that carries old pain. You don't fix it. You don't explain. You write, "I hear you," 2 words, typed slowly, chosen not from strategy, but from somatic clarity or interoceptive awareness, tuned by rest, your amygdala regulated by consistent safety. Those words land not as solution, but as soil. And sometimes that's enough. You walk through the neighborhood. A teenager sits on a stoop, headphones on, shoulders hunched. You don't intrude, but you slow your pace. You meet their eyes for a half second, a nod, not rescue, just recognition. Your mirror neurons fire. There's likely due to, in that micro connection, oxytocin rises in both of you, not enough to name, but enough to shift the chemistry of isolation. You keep walking. The tending is done. Later, you cook with what's wilting, a bunch of kale, stems tough, but leaves still green. You massage it with olive oil and lemon, breaking down cellulose with your palms, making it tender, bioavailable. This isn't waste prevention, it's reverence. Every nutrient preserved is a vote for resilience, for your mitochondria, your neurons, your immune cells working through the night. You eat in silence. Your parasympathetic nervous system dominates. Digestion efficient, inflammation low, gut motility smooth. Your microbiome ferments fiber into butyrate, which crosses into your bloodstream, signaling calm to your brain. You don't feel this, but you live in the steadiness of your hands, the clarity of your thoughts, the absence of urgency in your chest. Evening deepens. You dim the lights. Your retina's melanopsin cells report the shift to your suprachiasmatic nucleus, which signals your pineal gland. Begin the descent. Melatonin rises, not as chemical, but as tide. Your core temperature drops. Your breath slows. You are not preparing for sleep. You are returning to it. You lie down. The day's gestures settle not as accomplishments, but as compost. Your hippocampus replays moments, the pruned basil, the 2 words sent, the nod on the street, but it doesn't store them as you did good. It integrates them as identity. This is who you are, now someone who tends. In slow wave sleep, your glymphatic system surges. Cerebrospinal fluid flushes metabolic waste. Yes, but also dissolves the last vestiges of performance. The need to see the bloom, to be thanked, to measure impact, all washes away, leaving only the clean architecture of care. Your heart beats steadily. Your lungs expand. Your cells divide in the dark. No audience, no record. Just life tending itself through you, because tending isn't a path to something else. It's the destination made visible in motion. And as REM returns, your eyes dart beneath closed lids, dreaming not of outcomes, but of hands in soil, breath in air, presence in silence. Your body already hums, with the final, wordless truth, asterisk, asterisk, so you become it. Not in grand gesture, but in cellular rhythm. Your osteoblasts lay down new bone matrix in response to the weight of your morning walk. Microscopic architects building strength, not for show, but for endurance. Your cardiomyocytes contract in perfect synchrony, not to impress, but to sustain. Every heartbeat, life circulated without pause. You rise before light, not to achieve, but to align. Your suprachiasmatic nucleus has already begun its daily recalibration, syncing your cortisol curve to the planet's rotation. You step outside barefoot. Cold grass triggers thermoreceptors that signal safety to your brainstem. Your vagus nerve responds not with alarm, but with calm. This isn't discipline. It's biology, remembering its home. In the kitchen, you grind coffee beans. The aroma activates your olfactory bulb, which fires directly into the amygdala and hippocampus, bypassing logic, speaking straight to memory and emotion. You don't think of your grandmother. You feel her in the scent, in the ritual, in the quiet continuity of hands preparing warmth for another day. Tending is ancestral. It lives in your gestures before it lives in your mind. You carry your cup outside. Steam rises, water molecules escaping into air, joining the atmospheric river that will one day fall as rain over mountains you'll never see. You are part of this cycle. Your breath, your sweat, your tears all return. You don't need to leave a legacy. You are already woven into the web. At your desk, you open a shared document. A colleague has added notes in the margin. Hesitant, unsure. You don't correct. You affirm. This helps. Thank you. Your words land not as praise, but as permission. Their nervous system registers safety. Oxytocin rises. A neural pathway for trust strengthens. You didn't change them. You held space for them to grow. That is tending later. You walk through the park. A dog tugs its leash toward you, tail wagging. You crouch. Let it sniff your hand. Its olfactory receptors detect your centaur stress hormones, your calm, your history. It chooses to nuzzle your palm. In that touch, both your heart rates slow. Not magic, biology. To mammals, co-regulating in real time. You stand, keep walking. The tending is complete. You cook with what remains: a bruised pear sliced into yogurt. Cinnamon stirred in for its cinnamaldehyd, which enhances insulin sensitivity, supports neuronal health. You eat slowly. Your gut microbiome ferments fiber into short-chain fatty acids that cross into your bloodstream, reducing inflammation, signaling calm to your brain. You don't feel this, but you live its effects. Steadiness, clarity, the quiet capacity to show up again tomorrow. Evening comes. You wash a single bowl, warm water on your skin, triggering thermoreceptors that signal safety. Your breath deepens. Your shoulders drop. You are not practicing presence. You are living it unremarkably, inevitably, like roots reaching through soil, like mycelium threading through decay. You lie down. The house settles. Your core temperature dips. Melatonin rises. Sleep isn't an end. It's the next phase of tending. When your glymphatic system flushes, your immune cells patrol. Your heart repairs micro tears in its lining. In deep sleep, your brain replays the day, not to judge, but to integrate. The nod to the teenager, the two words to the colleague. The dogs nuzzle. These moments strengthen neural pathways for connection. Not because they were grand, but because they were true. Your identity isn't built in leaps. It's woven in these quiet stitches. REM arrives. Your eyes dart. Your limbs stay still. And in the dreamless deep, your cells divide. Your synapses prune. Your telomeres lengthen slightly, not from effort, but from the sustained absence of threat. You are not healing yourself. You are allowing life to heal through you. Because tending isn't something you do. It's what you are when the noise falls away. And as theta waves carry you deeper, your breath sinking with the rhythm of tides you've never seen, your body already knows the next quiet truth. You don't seek it. It finds you in the quiet mechanics of care. Your hands fold laundry, and the repetitive motion soothes your basal ganglia, lowering background anxiety, not through will, but through rhythm. Each sock paired, each shirt smooths, no audience, no reward. Yet your dopamine system responds not with craving, but with contentment. This is the neurochemistry of purpose, not achievement, but alignment. You step outside to hang the damp sheets. Wind lifts the fabric, and your visual cortex tracks the motion. But your insula feels the air cool, moist, alive with negative ions that increase serotonin, ease mental static. You breathe deeply. Your alveoli expand. Oxygen binds to hemoglobin. Your cells hum with quiet readiness. You are not grounding. You are participating in an exchange older than language, breath for breath, life for life. At the sink, you wash a single apple. Your fingertips register its cool curve, its slight waxiness, the weight in your palm. Mechanoreceptors fire, sending signals up your median nerve to your somatosensory cortex, mapping not just object, but relationship. This isn't mindfulness, it's embodiment, the world entering you through touch, and you receiving it without filter. You bite into the fruit. Crunch echoes in your inner ear. Saliva floods with amylase. Your gut prepares to receive. Polyphenols from the skin cross your intestinal lining, travel to your liver, then into circulation, reducing oxidative stress, supporting neuronal resilience. You don't think of health. You taste sweetness, tartness, earth. And in that tasting, you honor the tree, the soil, the rain. A message arrives. Someone you love is struggling. You don't rush to fix. You write, "I'm here." 2 words, typed slowly, chosen not from strategy, but from somatic clarity, your interoceptive awareness, tuned by rest, your amygdala, regulated by consistent safety. Those words land not as solution, but as soil, and sometimes that's enough. You walk to the post office. Pavement gives way to cracked sidewalk, then grass verge. Your feet adjust ankles, stabilizing, hips rotating, spine absorbing impact. Proprioceptors fire with every step, keeping you balanced without thought. This isn't exercise, it's conversation, body reading, earth-shaping body. You are not walking on the world. You are walking with it inside. You hand a letter to the clerk. She smiles faintly, eyes tired. You meet her gaze. "Thank you," you say, and mean it not for the stamp, but for her presence in the fabric of daily life. Her mirror neurons fire. Your heart rate's slow in subtle sync. Connection isn't always loud. Often, it's the quiet hum of mutual recognition. Back home, you sit on the porch. Sunlight warms your skin. triggering vitamin D synthesis in keratinocytes, cholesterol converted to pre-vitamin D3, then carried to liver and kidneys to become active hormone. This molecule will regulate hundreds of genes, modulate immunity, support mood. You don't feel it happening, but you trust it. Like roots in soil, like stem cells in marrow, it grows in the unseen dot. Evening softens. You cook with what's left, wilted greens, revived by heat, a spoonful of miso stirred in at the end to preserve its probiotics. The meal is humble, but rich in fiber, polyphenols, live cultures that will feed your gut microbiome through the night. Those trillions of bacteria, in turn, will produce short-chain fatty acids that cross into your bloodstream. Reduce inflammation, signal calm to your brain via the vagus nerve. You eat not just to fill yourself, but to nourish the ecosystem within. You wash the bowl slowly. Warm water on your skin triggers thermoreceptors that signal safety. Your breath deepens. Your shoulders drop. You are not practicing presence. You are living it in remarkably, inevitably, like mycelium threading through soil, like roots reaching for water in the dark dot. You lie down. The house settles. Your core temperature dips. Melatonin rises. Sleep isn't an end. It's the next phase of tending when your cells divide. Your synapses prune. Your heart repairs micro tears in its lining. Asterisk, so you stop. Not with effort, but with surrender. Your shoulders drop not because you remind them to, but because the chronic tension held since childhood, reinforced by urgency, tightened by the myth of scarcity, finally meets a nervous system that believes, at the cellular level, that it is safe. Cortisol recedes. Oxytocin rises. Your fascia, once bound like knotted rope, begins to glide, lubricated by hyaluronic acid, replenished in deep sleep. You don't feel lighter. You feel continuous, as if your edges have softened into the air around you. You sit on the floor, back against the wall. No cushion, no posture, correction. Just gravity meeting bone. Your sacrum settles into the earth, and mechanoreceptors in your pelvis send grounding signals up your spine, quieting the default mode network's endless narration. Thoughts don't vanish. They lose their grip. Like leaves on a slow river, they drift seen, not followed. This isn't meditation. It's biology returning to baseline. Outside, rain begins, not storm, but steady, soaking rain. You open the window. The scent of wet soil rises, geosmin released by actinobacteria as they break down organic matter. Your olfactory bulb fires, and the signal travels straight to your amygdala and hippocampus, bypassing logic, speaking to memory and emotion. You don't recall a specific moment. You feel belonging. The smell is ancient. Your cells remember it. You don't move to close the window. You let the cool air enter. Your skin cools. Thermoreceptors fire. Your hypothalamus adjusts blood flow, preserving core warmth while allowing your surface to breathe. This isn't exposure. It's dialogue with weather, with season, with the planet's slow exhale. You are not separate from the rain. You are part of its cycle. Your breath, your sweat, your tears, all returning to it. Later, you drink water from a glass. No lemon, no ritual, just clarity. As it flows down, it hydrates the interstitial spaces between your cells, plumping fascia, lubricating joints, allowing neurons to fire with precision, not static. Dehydration shrinks your brain by up to 2%. Hydration restores its volume, its resilience, its capacity for empathy. You feel clearer not because you've cleared your mind, but because your biology is finally supported. A bird calls from the oak. Its song enters your ear, vibrates your eardrum, moves tiny bones, stimulates hair cells in the cochleal in under 20 milliseconds. But your brain doesn't just decode pitch. It maps the bird's location, its species, its emotional state, because your auditory cortex is wired for connection, not just sound. You smile, not at the bird, but with it. Two nervous systems acknowledging aliveness across silence. You cook simply onions, caramelizing in olive oil. Garlic releasing allicin when crushed, a compound that thins blood and fights microbes. You stir slowly. The steam carries volatile oils that bind to olfactory receptors, triggering memories not of trauma, but of nourishment. This meal isn't fuel. It's an offering to your cells, to your ancestors, to the unseen web that sustains you. You eat without screens. Your parasympathetic nervous system dominates saliva, rich with enzymes, stomach acid primed, gut motility smooth. Digestion is not passive. It's an act of faith that what you receive will be transformed into strength, into clarity, into the quiet energy to tend again tomorrow. Evening deepens. You dim the lights. Blue wavelengths fade, and your pineal gland responds, converting serotonin into melatonin with enzymatic grace. This isn't chemistry alone. It's devotion. Your cells honor the rhythm of Earth's rotation, just as your ancestors did for millennia before electric light fractured time. You lie down. The day's impressions settle not as clutter, but as compost. Your hippocampus replays key moments. The rain at the window, the bird's call, the steam from the pot. But it doesn't hoard them. It integrates them into your sense of self. This is how identity evolves, not in grand declarations, but in the quiet consolidation of lived alignment. In deep sleep, your glymphatic system surges. Cerebrospinal fluid flushes through brain tissue, clearing metabolic waste. Yes, but also dissolving the last vestiges of striving. The need to become, to achieve, to prove washes away, leaving only the clean architecture of being. Your heart beats steadily. Your lungs expand. Your cells divide in the dark. No audience, no record. Just life unfolding through you, because wholeness was never ahead of you. It was beneath you all along, like soil, like breath, like the quiet hum of a body that never stopped tending itself. Asterisk,